President Biden arriving at the memorial, I believe at Robb Elementary School right now.
You can see the president carrying a bouquet of flowers there with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden as they walk up to this memorial. You know, we had a crew at the memorial yesterday. Well, listen to that. Well, you can hear the cheers of the crowd. Let's take a listen. So what you were listening to just a moment ago was people in the background cheering as President Joe Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden arrive here at the memorial at Robb Elementary School. You see they've got a bouquet of flowers with them. Look at that memorial and how much it's grown in just a matter of days.
And I just saw a sign for Santa Fe. It looks like the Santa Fe community came out to lend their support to the Uvalde community after experiencing such a tragedy a few years ago, may have a few years ago as well.
Yeah, and we had a crew, I was going to say, we had a crew on the ground right there at the memorial yesterday, and the line to just pay your respects was amazing. It stretched blocks. And keep in mind, it was 98 degrees yesterday, and despite that heat, people waited for a long time just so they could come and pay their respects to the memorial.
And looks like, there we go, now we have our feedback. We're not sure who President is talking.
I think that might be the superintendent of the school district there. That's who that looks like. Obviously, he is grieving because no superintendent wants that to ever happen to one of their schools, but that appears to be the superintendent of the school district there.
And we did hear so many cheers out there today when the President and First Lady walked onto the campus. Sounds like there is a crowd there welcoming the President on such tragic circumstances to their community. I believe you can hear the cheers right now. And if you're not familiar with this area, the front of the school where the President is right now is in a residential community. There's homes surrounding right across the street. There's a crosswalk every block, so those children are walking from their homes to their school.
Yeah, and we can confirm that is Dr. Hal Harrell, the superintendent of Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District. Unimaginable tragedy that he's having to deal with. And think about what the entire school is going to have to live with for the rest of their lives, the survivors, the teachers. So you can see the president talking to him right now. As the camera was a little wider, you can see Governor Greg Abbott is there as well. But boy, look at that memorial and how much it's grown.
Wow. I know our reporter out there this week said people were just coming from all over the country to pay their respects and just really honor the 19 students and 2 teachers that died there on Tuesday. You can see the governor approaching, Governor Greg Abbott approaching President Biden right now next to the memorial in front of the school, paying their respects right now. We also see a photo right there of one of the teachers that was killed. Once again, you know, the heroism of those teachers who died protecting their students that day.
You have to imagine, and this is the memorial in downtown.
That's in the middle of downtown Uvalde at the courthouse, right in front of the courthouse in the square, downtown Uvalde. That's where we've seen many people gather over the last few weeks when you really couldn't get near the elementary school at first. The media, there was so many media blocking the front. We did see a trickle of families slowly come, and that crowd grew, but so many community members also set up a memorial here in front of the courthouse to honor those victims there as well.
And again, you're taking a live look right now of President Joe Biden at the growing memorial there at Robb Elementary School. He was standing next to the superintendent, Dr. Hal Harrell. You know, we talk about the president obviously being there, but you have to imagine, you have to wonder what's going through the mind of Dr. Jill Biden. Of course, she has dedicated her life to education.
As a teacher.
And Vanessa, you used to be a teacher. No teacher ever expects to be put in a situation where you have to protect your kids from a mass shooter.
And I was speaking about that too, Phil, when I was there on Tuesday without knowing what was unfolding inside the building. But you know, teachers experience you go through many lockdown drills a year, but you always know this is a drill. And I can't imagine the fear and the bravery those teachers showed that day. All of those teachers keeping a strong face for those little children who just must have been terrified, and the uncertainty of what's happening outside your door. So I just can't imagine what those teachers were feeling, and our hearts just go out to those teachers and students today.
Yeah, unimaginable. Again, you're taking a live look at the Groen Memorial that is also downtown in Uvalde. So many people out on this Sunday morning. Those memorials just continue to get bigger and bigger, and not the usual Sunday, to say the least, in Uvalde, Texas.
And we saw the memorial grow downtown shortly after, I believe, Wednesday or Tuesday evening. It was very difficult of course, because the school is still a crime scene. So people were not able to go there and pay their respects. We saw some people dropping off flowers. The DPS troopers that were standing there, keeping people from getting near the crime scene, were taking those flowers and placing them on the memorial. That's the one you're looking at right there at Robb Elementary. We see First Lady Jill Biden really paying tribute to those victims.
Yeah, you can see
the pain in there.
You can see her touching the photos there right now of some of the victims, the 19 children whose lives were cut just way too early. And of course, Vanessa, as you mentioned, those two teachers, they will forever go down as heroes. We can only imagine how terrible that situation was, and they tried to protect their kids. Again, you're taking a live look at Dr. Jill Biden, the First Lady, with President Joe Biden as they visit this memorial at Robb Elementary School, the site of that terrible tragedy. And of course, we know that tragedy started on the outside of the school.
Yes.
Shots were fired. We're, not far from where they're standing right now.
And I had not seen the large pictures of the children by the crosses. You know, a community member made those crosses this week with all the children's names and the teachers' names, and it's so moving to see their beautiful little faces there and the teachers there as well. And you could just see the hurt of the pain, and the president and Vice President Dr. Biden there as well, as they're just really taking a moment to honor each of those victims.